My name is Chloe, and I'm 18 years old living in Austin, Texas. Life was pretty good back then, you know? I had my own place, a small apartment not far from the downtown area, and I was sharing it with my roommate, who everyone called Stinky. Yeah, that was his nickname, and honestly, it kind of fit because he wasn't the cleanest guy around, but he was my boyfriend Jacob's best friend, so I put up with him. Jacob was amazing, sweet, and we had been together for about 4 months, and I really thought he might be the one. I worked part-time at a local coffee shop, and Jacob had a job at a mechanic shop, so we didn't have a ton of money, but we were happy. I loved walking around Austin, feeling the energy of the city, and just dreaming about what life might bring. My youngest sister, who was 16, would sometimes come over and hang out, which was cool because I liked having family around. Everything felt normal, like I was finally building something good for myself after high school. But then, one night, everything started to go wrong. My best friend called me up and asked if I wanted to go out to a bar with her. I wasn't much of a drinker, but I figured, why not have some fun? I called Jacob to see if he wanted to come along, but he said he had to work early the next morning and encouraged me to go enjoy myself. So I walked down to the bar, met up with my friend, and we had a pretty chill time. When the bar closed around 2 in the morning, I said goodbye to my friend and started walking home alone. That's when my ex-boyfriend showed up out of nowhere. He started telling me it wasn't safe for me to walk by myself and that he would walk with me. I told him I was a grown woman and could handle myself, but he insisted on following me all the way back to my apartment. When we got there, Stinky was awake in the living room, hanging out with my younger sister. My sister saw my ex and ran over to give him a hug, which was weird, but whatever. We all stood around talking for maybe 15 minutes when suddenly Stinky and my ex started arguing about something stupid that had nothing to do with me. I told my ex it was time to leave and everyone should go to their own rooms. I thought that was the end of it. The next afternoon, Jacob came over to my place and he was furious. He was yelling and accusing me of cheating on him with my ex the night before. I was completely shocked and had no idea where this was coming from. Turns out, Stinky had told Jacob that I had sex with my ex right there in the apartment. It was a total lie, and I couldn't believe Stinky would do something like that. I was so upset, my heart was pounding, and I felt sick to my stomach. I immediately called my younger sister and put her on speakerphone to confirm what really happened. She backed me up, saying nothing went down, and we all just talked for a bit before everyone went their separate ways. Relief washed over me for a second, but then anger took over. I stormed upstairs to Stinky's room, kicked his door open, and told him to get his lying ass out of my house. He got up and pushed me toward the top of the stairs, and in a flash of rage, I grabbed him and shoved him as hard as I could all the way down the stairs and out the front door. Jacob went outside to deal with him while I stayed inside, shaking with anger. Later, Jacob told me Stinky was going to stay with a friend and would come back in a week to get his stuff. I was relieved he was gone, but I knew I wasn't done with him yet. I started thinking about how to get back at Stinky for almost ruining my relationship with Jacob. I remembered that Stinky had this really expensive stereo system, a Sony 5-disc carousel with a Sony amplifier and Paradigm speakers that he was super proud of. In 1997, that was like the coolest thing ever, and it cost a lot of money. I decided that messing with his prized possession would be the perfect payback. So one afternoon when no one was around, I went into his room, opened up the carousel part of the stereo, and poured a whole jar of Bravo pasta sauce right into it. I closed it back up, unplugged everything, and left it by the front door for when he came to pick up his stuff. A week later, he showed up, grabbed his things including the stereo, and left without saying a word. I found out later from mutual friends that when he finally opened up that stereo, it was covered in mold and completely ruined. He was furious, but he never confronted me about it. Jacob was a little weirded out by what I did, saying it was kind of extreme, but I told him that messing with a thing is nowhere near as bad as messing with someone's actual life. Honestly, I felt pretty satisfied knowing Stinky got what he deserved. Things calmed down after that. Jacob and I worked through the trust issues, and we grew closer because of it. Years went by, and eventually, Stinky admitted to Jacob that he lied because he was jealous of our relationship. It felt good to have that confirmation, but I never really forgave him. As a side note, I found out later that Stinky had slept with both of my sisters, and I'm pretty sure he's the father of one of my nieces, though my other sister won't admit to who the dad is. It's messy, but that's life sometimes. Looking back, I'm glad I stood up for myself and didn't let Stinky's lies destroy what Jacob and I had. We've been together for 28 years now, and that revenge moment was just a small bump in the road. But it taught me to always fight for what's right and not let anyone walk all over me. And hey, if Stinky had ever tried to call the police about the stereo, I was ready to blame it on a hypothetical 2-year-old, because kids get into everything, right? Life moved on, and I learned that sometimes a little revenge can be just what you need to balance the scales.